Why is it hard for me to accept love? Some people don't reject love because they hate people. They reject love because love has never felt emotionally safe to receive. And that sentence just explains millions of human beings. Because there are people listening right now who crave love deeply, yet panic the moment somebody truly cares about them. They pull away. They overthink. They become cold suddenly. They stop replying. They question the relationship. They search for flaws. They emotionally disappear. Not because they do not feel something, but because love activates old pain. And most people never realizes this. Sometimes the hardest person to receive love from is someone who treats you gently. Because when a person grew up around emotional inconsistency, criticism, abandonment, silence, or conditional affection, peace feels unfamiliar, and the nervous system confuses unfamiliar with dangerous. So now, love feels suspicious. Compliment feels uncomfortable. Affection feels overwhelming. Kindness feels temporary. And deep inside, the person keeps waiting for the moment everything changes. The moment the person leaves. The moment the betrayal comes. The moment they become too much. So instead of relaxing into love, they prepare for loss, even while being held. And this creates one of the loneliest emotional experiences in human life. Being loved while secretly unable to believe it. Some people spend years praying for healthy love, then sabotage it the moment it finally arrives. Not intentionally, psychologically. Because the body remembers emotional survival patterns the mind forgets. You can see it in small behaviors. People apologize constantly. They struggle accepting gifts. They feel guilty being cared for. They overgive in relationships. They become uncomfortable when someone does something kind without wanting something back. And nobody around them understands why. People call them guarded, complicated, hard to love. But what if they are not hard to love? What if they simply learn that love always comes with pain attached to it? That changes everything. Because now we are no longer talking about attitude. We are talking about emotional programming. And emotional programming begins early. Sometimes in childhood. Sometimes through heartbreak. Sometimes through humiliation, neglect, emotional abandonment, unpredictable parents, people who said, "I love you," while causing emotional harm. And slowly, the nervous system learns something tragic. Love is not safety. Love is risk. So now the person wants closeness, but fears vulnerability. The person wants intimacy, but fears dependence. The person wants connection, but emotionally retreats when connection becomes real. And this creates internal conflict because half of them is starving for love, while the other half is trying to survive it. That is exhaustion, especially when nobody sees the war happening inside you. People only see the distance. They do not see the fear underneath it. And the fear is rarely, what if nobody loves me? The deeper fear is often, what if they truly see me and still leave? The fear changes people. That fear changes people. It makes them emotionally monitor every interaction. It makes them to overanalyze text messages. It makes them to panic when someone gets too close. It makes them self-abandon, trying to become easy to love. And eventually, they become disconnected from their authentic self. Because survival mode love teaches people to perform instead of receive. So to earn instead of rest. To prove instead of trust. But real love never supposed to feel like emotional labor every second. And maybe this next truth will hit deeply. Some people do not struggle receiving love because they are emotionally unavailable. They struggle because they never learned what emotionally safe love feels like. There's a difference, a massive difference, because emotionally unsafe love teaches the body to stay alert, always preparing, always protecting, even during peaceful moments. That is why some people feel anxiety after affection. Not because affection is wrong, but because their nervous system does not know how to relax inside care. And the sad part is, many people blame themselves for this. They think, why am I like this? Why can't I just be normal? Why do I push people away? But survival patterns are not personality flaws. They are emotional adaptations. Your mind learned them to protect you. The problem is, what once protected you may now be preventing connection. Some ancient teachings believe that when an animal has been wounded repeatedly, it may eventually fear even the hand trying to help it. Not because kindness is dangerous, but because pain changes its relationship with trust. And humans do the same too. Especially emotionally wounded humans. They flinch at consistency. They question healthy intentions. They feel suspicious of calm love because chaos became familiar. And familiar often feels safer than healthy. That truth explains so many relationships. Some people leave healthy love to return to emotional unpredictability because unpredictability feels emotionally recognizable. And recognizable pain can feel safer than unfamiliar peace. My dear friend, now listen. This next part matters deeply. Your inability to receive love may not come from lack of worth. It may come from years of emotional self-protection becoming automatic. And automatic protection eventually becomes identity. So now, even when someone genuinely loves you, your nervous system whispers, "Be careful. Don't trust this. They will leave you eventually. Do not relax." And slowly, the person begins emotionally resisting the very thing they prayed for. Not because they are broken, but because their heart has survived too much uncertainty. But survival is not the same as living. And this is where the deeper revelation appears. Many people think healing means learning how to love. Many people think healing means learning how to love others better. But sometimes healing is learning how to stop fighting love when it finally arrives. 1 John 4 verse 18 says, "There's no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear." Notice that carefully. Fear and love cannot deeply grow in the same emotional space. Eventually, one begins controlling the other. And many people have spent years trying to receive love, while fear secretly controls the room. Fear of abandonment, fear of betrayal, fear of disappointment, fear of being fully seen. So what happened next? They emotionally close doors before people can live through them. But closing doors also blocks healing. And this is the healing experience I want you to try. This is the solution, not generic positivity, not pretending you suddenly trust everybody. This is called inner child recognition. Tonight, I want you to do something. Think about the first moment you remember feeling emotionally unwanted, unseen, or unsafe expressing love. Maybe it was a parent who only showed affection when you perform well. Maybe it was being ignored emotionally or mocked for sensitivity, or abandoned after trusting somebody deeply. Because do not rush that memory, because many adult relationship patterns were born from there. Now imagine your younger self standing in front of you. Not the adult version, the child version. The version who first learned that love is unstable, that love disappears, that I must earn care, that I should not need too much. Look at them carefully. Then say something they may have needed years ago. You did not deserve confusing love. That sentence reaches somewhere deep. Because healing begins when the nervous system realizes the past is no longer happening. And the benefits of this healing experience are powerful. It reconnects adult pain to its emotional origin. It reduces unconscious shame. It softens self-hatred. It helps the body separate past fear from present safety. And slowly, it teaches the heart that receiving love does not always end in pain. That changes relationships. not overnight, but deeply. A tree that grows during storm may continue bending even after the storm has passed. Not because the danger is still there, but because the body remembers. And maybe your heart has been bending for a very long time. Maybe you became strong. Maybe independent. You became careful, too careful. You became guarded because softness once felt unsafe. But softness is not weakness. Sometimes softness is the bravest thing a wounded person can relearn. So if you struggle accepting love, please understand this deeply. You are not difficult to love. You are someone whose nervous system learned survival before safety. That deserves compassion, not shame. And maybe healing is not becoming a completely different person. Maybe healing is finally realizing you do not have to keep protecting yourself from every good thing that enters your life. Maybe love has felt heavy for so long because you were trying to hold it with armored hands, and armor cannot fully feel warmth, only protection. But slowly, piece by piece, the armor can come off. Not all at once, not recklessly, just honestly. Like winter slowly leaving the trees. Like frozen rivers learning how to move again. Like sunlight returning to places that forgot warmth existed. And maybe one day, love will stop feeling like something you must survive and finally start feeling like somewhere you are allowed to rest. My dear friend, I want to hear from you. What part of this felt like your life? And when do you think your heart first learned that love was unsafe? Share your experience in the comments so that someone reading can pick an inspiration from. Thanks so much for joining me. I am ThePZipporah.